Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. This week I'm going to ask the question, what's next for the BMW i3? So recently BMW have been pondering whether to actually continue production after the current BMW i3 and i3S models, or will they put it to bed? Is this the death of the BMW i3 or not? As part of this, I'm going to go through the things really that if they are going to go forward with it, what do I think that I want to change? What do I want to see in the next iteration of the BMW i3? So first things first, I'm not actually going to change too much on the outside of the car. I would suggest that BMW stick with the i3S version in terms of the style, with the wider arches and the larger wheels and some of the skirting and the spoilers that they've put on. I think it's got a really nice look for going forward. i3 has always been a love it or hate it car. It's a Marmite car, as somebody told me recently, and they're right. You know, it's one of those things, you're either going to love the design or you're not. I personally love it, and I love driving the car. So what would I change? So the first things first is the screens. So you have, if you paid a little bit more, you got two screens. One was the big middle center console screen, and the other one was the display that you get in front of you. Now I would personally change all of that to one long screen, similar to, not so big as the new models of, say, the new Honda E that's come out, but enough to join the two screens together, have the same size, and just have one screen that goes across the middle of where you see and to the left. I don't want to see a Tesla style screen down and to the left of me. I kind of want to see it in front of me and big enough. Some of that I would like touchscreen or an elements of touchscreen. I don't mind the iDrive, but it's feeling a little bit dated now against other things, and it's time to go touchscreen. The second thing, along with the screens, I'd get rid of all the buttons in the on the actual plastic, I suppose, dashboard. They serve no purpose, and they're things that, to be honest, I feel that you could put into a screen. I've said it before, I just think it makes it more sense just to put it in one place. Get rid of all the old style sort of buttons and knobs and things like that they've got. Now, there's no need for those to be in cars anymore. So the one thing that I will keep with buttons, and one particular person, and you know who you are, I would keep as a button, is the glove box. Glove box, whilst not particularly big in size, it's functional, does what it says in the tin, and you can put a few helpful things in there. So I will personally keep the button and not change that to a screen function, and that may come as a surprise to that particular person that goes to. What else? So I think some of the things I would change are maybe the wheels, and I've stated around the outside, around the i3S. The i3S is more planted than the original i3, and certainly the normal i3. So it's got wider wheels, and it's the suspension is lower, so it's more planted in the middle of on the road. So let's keep that form factor, and let's keep those wheels. The current ones that I drive are too thin, in my opinion. It's a bit skittish at higher speeds. And the i3S solves a lot of those niggles. I'd probably change the steering wheel to be a slightly bit smaller. For the size of the car, should have a little bit more of maybe a sporty, stubbier steering wheel. Again, it's not a major thing, but it's something I'd change. And probably one of the main things that I would say is, after changing the screens that I mentioned earlier, is on over-the-air updates. Software updates, car updates. Tesla do this, Audi have started doing this with their cars. It's time for BMW to do the same in the i3. It makes no sense to have this brand new electric car that's meant to be, or start to be, connected and not have that. Mine's got a 4G connection, so why they don't, on earth they don't use that for more functionality, I don't know. Or at least put some sort of router in so you can connect up to a local Wi-Fi, a home Wi-Fi, to have those over-the-air updates done. So again, It just prolongs the lifetime of the car. It allows added features to be put in, and just makes more sense. So lastly, the last thing I'd probably add, and is the range. Now, the range that I get in my current 2017 i3 isn't that bad. I get approximately 110, 120 in the winter. I get, I would say 140, 145 in the summer, which is pretty good, and I manage perfectly fine. What I would say though is that if they could, and I presume they can do, increase the cell density within the current batteries and put a 200 mile range in an i3, I think that would be ideal. I'm not looking for a 300-400 mile car, certainly not in the size of this, and let's face it, it's built for a city car. It's not built for long range, although most people, including myself, do use it for a longer range. But if we put a 200 mile range in there that's real world, I think that'd be more than adequate enough. You can get most places in the UK with that 200 miles, with maybe one stop somewhere. It allows a 400 mile journey with one charge on the way. I mean, what's not to love about that? But actual 200 mile real world range. So WLTP are likely say 270 or 275, and you'll get 200, something of that nature. We know the battery technology exists out there. BMW, you need to do better with that. The recent i3s upgrade of 20 or 30 miles just wasn't enough, in my opinion. But they obviously had their reasons for it. So that's my list of things that I'd change if BMW do decide to continue with the i3 range. I really hope they do. I hope it's not the death of the i3 to make way for the Mini. Now, my fear is that could be the case, in that Mini is a very well-named brand. It's more conventional. You see a Mini, you instantly recognise it, and certainly people that have owned Minis before that want to make the move to electric may make that an easier choice. So I really hope they don't. I believe there's space in the market for both cars. They're both brilliant cars. The Mini looks great, and certainly the features and everything. It's obviously built on the i3 platform, so I hope that they move with both platforms and both cars moving forward. I'd hate to see the i3 go to its deathbed too early. I think there's still life in it yet. It's got in my opinion, a timeless design that just needs little tweaks and improvements, and like I said, largely around the inside and some of the features, not so much the outside. Anyway, I'd like to know what you thought. If you please pop your comments in the notes below. I always like to see what people think and some of their comments, so we can have that discussion. If you did like this video, please remember to like, share and subscribe, all that normal stuff. Check out my Patreon page. It just goes a very small way of trying to do more test drives and some of the more kind of bigger events. And for those people that may be wondering, there's too many e-board and e-skate videos, it's just because I've been getting into those lately, and there will be a very good mix of car and board videos. So hope you watch both of them. If you don't and you want to watch the EV stuff, then great. There'll be more content around cars coming very soon over the week, so don't worry about that. And finally, I just wanted to give a big shout out to those that do currently subscribe to my Patreon page. Your support is much appreciated. It does go, like I said, a small way to fund and do more stuff on the channel. And a final note to the now, as of recording this, 477 subscribers to my channel. I can't thank you enough. I never thought when I first started this channel that I'd get anywhere near that. It's fantastic. I'm up to something like 45,000 views on videos, so it's going beyond what I ever expected. So a big huge thank you for those that watch my stuff and those that support me. So until next time, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this video, and see you again very soon. Bye bye.